my take on it is, with things is as it is, the black community, we doing a disservice. All I heard, all my friends heard, all the people I know in my age range heard, you gotta go to college. Go to college. Go to college. If you're not going to college, you're wasting your life. Go to college. You know what I'm saying? That's all older black people knew to tell younger people at the time. And that's just not always, that should not always be in the cards of a kid just to go to college, just go to college. You get a lot of kids, and that's black, white, brown, orange, yellow. They're in their first or second year. They have no idea what they're going to end up taking up. You know what I mean? That's how they end up with these general degrees, because they still don't know. By third year, you still don't know what the fuck I want to do. I don't know. Yeah. That's because you shouldn't be there. That's why. You know what I mean?
I don't mean to cut y'all. A lot of us didn't know what trade schools were. They didn't even have the knowledge on
to after college. I didn't know what a trade school was to after college. I thought this was interesting. So 86%, all right, that's a large number. 86% of U.S. workers with education debt said that their degree wasn't worth the student loans. Mm-hmm. What y'all think? That's a large ass number.
Yeah, I mean it's a horrific statement to the inefficiency of our educational system, including the higher educational part.
Yeah.
You know, and the reality is we have a lot of people that pursue degrees and don't end up working in the field. Mm-hmm. You know, if you really, look at it, there's certain degrees that kind of give you a natural pathway. I mean, I did law school and I'm a lawyer. It works. But, you get a more generalized degree and you get into the workforce and you just got to find a job. And once you find a job, it's kind of your own hustle and graft, whether you're going to move up in that field. And so the biggest issue, and I was very fortunate, like my parents paid for my undergrad. I didn't have undergrad debt. I had law school debt. But, a lot of people don't have that situation. And you get these undergrad degrees that are largely general degrees, don't lead to a direct career path, and you've incurred significant amount of debt to get it. It is not worth it. If you're making 40, 45, 50 grand a year and you've accumulated 80 grand in debt and you're paying that off over 10 years, best case scenario, you're paying it, maybe you reconsolidate and you're paying it off over 25 or 30 years. And what you pay for that 80 grand becomes double or triple when through financing and interest. It's horrific. We need, as a country, and fuck your politics, like we need to do a better job of access to education. And we have to do a better job of education that transitions into workforce. Mm-hmm. So that you're kind of go through this path and you have access to get trained and educated. And then when you're through the other side of that there's jobs and opportunities for you to do. Mm-hmm. And you have a lot of disillusionment to these people that have gone to, undergrad and gotten degrees and now they can't get a job in field at all. And I mean, my daughter's a little bit like that. I mean, she was several times since graduating not been in a great mental place for that very reason. Like not necessarily having a good job or having a job with an upward trajectory, career path type job. And, no, hey, I went to school. She didn't, because of me, she didn't have debt. But like, it's still taxing on the mind and mental health of people. Nope. And it's, it's ridiculous. But I part of it, though, I think, like, and especially, like, and I know, okay, you could go to UCF or UF and get a degree and have debt. I get that. But the places that drive me crazy are the predatory online schools. Mm. They're private. They rely, almost every one of their students is on student loans. And a lot of times they prey on individuals that did not have a direct pathway from high school to college. Mm-hmm. And they're maybe a little bit in a career and maybe they have a kid or they got some other stuff and they're making an effort to get back to school. And they kind of just drown these people in financial aid debt with these degrees that aren't worth the toilet paper I wipe my ass
That
with.
one predatory commercial that everybody remembers. Got
Dude,
the black guy
The
coming on the
black guy.
screen.
Yeah.
What are you doing anyway?
Yeah.
You're just chilling on the couch.
Yeah.
Sign up for school. Do better with your life.
Dude,
Do something.
those.
Shut your
Yeah.
motherfucking
Dude,
ass.
The government should put those schools out of business.
Yeah.
Like for real, because it's like they do every student a disservice. The people that go to those, their graduation rate probably is like single digit percentage wise, and then their debt to degree because of that. Because everyone that goes to one of those schools is taking student loans. to do it.
Yeah.
And they're not cheap.
Yeah,
It-
because it's private,
horrific.
you don't get the
State
grants and
grants and
all of that
subsidies
stuff that you would get with a public school. So it would be less debt if you went to a public school. So all those private institutions, especially those, like you said, those online schools. You had something to say, because I got a different take on this.
No, go ahead, bro.
Yeah,
I
so
completely agree with him.
yeah. Now, Pink is 100% correct. In an ideal world, that's the way you will fix it. Matter of fact, Pink needs to be a writer for some of these the debaters, the presidential debates, because you put that in a debate line, you're gonna get some cheers and claps.
Yeah.
But my thing is, now look at this. This is a general report made by CNBC, MSNBC, and look at this picture. It's all black folks. You
Yep.
got some dudes in the back, black women in the front. And my take on it is, with things is as it is, the black community, we doing a disservice. All I heard, all my friends heard, all the people I know in my age range heard, you gotta go to college. Go to college. Go to college. If you're not going to college, you're wasting your life. Go to college. You know what I'm saying? That's all older black people knew to tell younger people at the time. And that's just not always, that should not always be in the cards of a kid just to go to college, just go to college. You get a lot of kids, and that's black, white, brown, orange, yellow. They're in their first or second year. They have no idea what they're going to end up taking up. You know what I mean? That's how they end up with these general degrees, because they still don't know. By third year, you still don't know what the fuck I want to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's because you shouldn't be there. That's why. You know what I mean?
I don't mean to cut y'all. A lot of us didn't know what trade schools were. They didn't even have the knowledge on
To after college. I
Yup.
didn't know what a trade school was to after college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big problem in our
Yeah.
community.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know other options. You know,
Yup.
you know what I'm saying? We don't know all the options that are afforded to us. And then all the older black people know to do is tell us to go to college. Now, if they don't change that system, I feel the educational system is going to be in trouble, especially in our community, because 86% of us feel screwed. You know what I mean? So we're going to be on top of our children, and we are able to have the knowledge to guide them and say, okay, you got a 2.2 right now. All right, you don't like school. I done beat it into you don't like school. All right, so we're not gonna do college. Okay, we're gonna do something else because you got to get up out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So here goes. We got trade school option here. You got military option there. You can create your own business here. You know what I mean? Maybe we've already been doing that over the course. So it's just so many different options that we are aware of, and we're gonna be able to pass down from here. And that's just out of sheer, being pissed off because we in debt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Certain people can't get jobs because they in debt. That's crazy to me. You
Yeah.
graduate college, but they say you in debt.
They
so
look
you
at
can't,
your debt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
looking
for
at your debt, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No.
that's nuts.
That is yeah. I mean it one of the things like from a parent's perspective, like what I wanted for each of the kids was to be passionate about something that would drive them forward. I didn't want for my kids to kind of just march through the steps of education without having a passion for anything. And I think that for me, the passion is the key thing, because I walked through the steps. Like, I didn't really give a shit about school. It wasn't very difficult, but I just didn't care. And I kind of went through college. I was in the middle of college. I'm like, what am I going to do? And it was like, well, why don't you go to law school? All right, I'll do that. And I did that. And I didn't like it. And then I have debt. I need a job. I have kids. I'm like, I've been practicing law for 28 years. So like shit just happens. But when I look at I didn't pursue my passion. I didn't pursue something I genuinely deeply care about. And so I always wanted for my kids to do that. And if you have that, to me, whatever that, if it's a trade, if it's an art, if you're just one of those hustling business type people, they could just sell anything and, whatever, do that. And as a parent, enable that, empower that, and your kid will be fine. But to me, one of the worst things we could have is just unmotivated young people who don't care about anything and who are just kind of walking through life without purpose. Because that's also, I think, how whether you get funneled into school because it's just the right thing to do and maybe something will click while you're there, or you get lured by the temptation of the streets and other things. And it's, unmotivated, uninspired young people is the death of the future. They have to be inspired. And they may not be inspired in the same way that you or I were at our time. They're going to be inspired in their time, in their way. But as the old heads, we got to just be able to push that and be okay with it and enable and empower them to do things.
No, that's for sure. That's for sure. All right, here, let's get into some a little football talk here. All right.